Change. It's the one thing everybody wants until they actually get it. Today's Marketing Supervillain Hall of Fame inductee was facing an angry mob of fans demanding just that, change. But instead of giving them what they wanted, he decided to teach them a valuable lesson and at the same time revitalize a major brand without having to change a single thing. We marketers are hardwired with a nonconformist mindset. We're agents of change that are rarely ever satisfied with the status quo. Change is in our DNA, but change is hard and painful. And the general public thinks they know what they want, but in reality, they have no idea.
You filthy criminals.
They believe that having many options to choose from would make them happier, when science has proven that to be the polar opposite. They say they want new and improved when the prehistoric parts of their brain subconsciously translate that to untested and unsafe.
Alarming indeed.
And perhaps worst of all, they cry for change. But as anybody that's been involved in a major rebrand knows, the second they get that change, they panic because it's new and unfamiliar. It's enough to drive even the most powerful marketer directly over the edge. However, as per the Marketing Supervillain Manifesto, we marketing supervillains do not make excuses. Instead, we create new paradigms to get to the top and are willing to sacrifice to get there. And that's exactly what today's inductee did. In 1993, the Batman had been around long enough to appear in over 2,000 comic books. The Caped Crusader had been around the block and back more than a few times, and the franchise was beginning to show its age a little bit, especially when compared to newer, fresher heroes like the Punisher and Wolverine, who were rising in popularity. Perhaps fans felt that following these newer heroes with their more extreme approach to dealing with villainy was more exciting than that of the tried and true Dark Knight, who had always lived by a code of no killing. Even the most devout fans of Bruce Wayne and his crime-fighting alter ego had to admit the premise was getting a little dusty, and that strict code of conduct of no killing was no longer relevant in a world gone mad. Fans wanted, nay, they demanded one thing: change. Chuck Dixon, the writer of Batman's Detective Comics, had a major choice to make. He was not only positive that fans were simply incorrect in their cries for change, but he was also sure that Batman's code of conduct was not only righteous, it was the one thing that made him superior to every other character in the DC Comics universe. At a crossroads, Chuck decided to create one of the most diabolical marketing strategies ever, and released it onto an unsuspecting audience. Facing rapidly declining sales and market share being chipped away by other superheroes with no qualms about killing, Chuck decided it was time to make a move, so he gave fans exactly what they were asking for. However, he was always 10 steps ahead of everyone. Like a master puppeteer, he manipulated the strings of an entire demographic. A new supervillain moved into Gotham City named Bane and broke the back of Batman, forcing him to find a suitable replacement for the cowl. The fans got exactly what they wanted: a new Batman who was edgier, sleeker, more violent, and definitely not afraid to end a villain's life for the sake of the greater good. Out with the old and in with the new, and the fans, well, even though they got exactly what they were asking for, just as Chuck predicted, they did not rejoice. The sudden shift in tone and movement away from tradition made fans uncomfortable, and as you guessed it, very quickly they grew to hate the new Batman.
Holy backfire! What a catastrophe!
Chuck was happy to be proven correct, but like any marketing supervillain whose hand was forced, was understandably a little vindictive. He wanted to use his writing to teach fans a lesson as to why his way was the right way. He wanted them to regret their mistrust in him and the character he had helmed. The fans were crying and Chuck was loving it. How much was he loving it? He decided to run the storyline an extra 6 months than originally intended. He used every opportunity to let fans know the old Batman was gone and the new Batman was here to stay, just like they had asked for.
You stupid fools! I am a genius!
After 16 months of a story arc entitled Knightfall, which spanned a total of 86 issues, sales had declined so far that Chuck had to rely on his ace in the hole. He pulled the old Bruce Wayne out of retirement and forcefully reclaimed the throne in an epic showdown. Fans rejoiced. They had their old tried and true Batman back. They were ecstatic about the same exact product and presentation they were crying about a year prior. For this masterful and diabolical rebrand, which changed nothing within the brand while revitalizing an entire franchise, I'm very happy to induct Detective Comics writer Chuck Dixon into the Marketing Supervillain Hall of Fame. Thanks for watching, but remember, in order to continue to have access to the inside of the giant killer robot studio, you have to like, share, and subscribe. And if you happen to know someone that should be inducted into the Marketing Supervillain Hall of Fame, let us know in the comments below, and we'll be in touch.